Hello, and welcome to the GPCA Podcast. I'm your host, Dalal Alhooli, a business monitoring and planning analyst from petrochemical industries company Kuwait, who is also a member of the GPCA's Youth Council. We are gathered here at the 18th Annual GPCA Forum for the first time ever in the beautiful city of Muscat, Oman. Joining me today is Mr. J. Shroff, Chairman and Group CEO of UPL. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you.
Thank you very much. A real honor to be here.
Thank you so much. All right, so let's dive in. To begin with, I'd like to ask about some of the pressing challenges facing the agri-nutrient producers currently to ensure they meet growing demand for food.
I think the bigger challenge is around food productivity, agriculture productivity, food security, sustainability, climate change. All these things are so intertwined. And, agriculture generates almost 25 to 30% of the greenhouse gases, CO2, in the world. And, this is a challenge, but food is essential for a growing population. Food demand is going to continue to grow, particularly Africa, India, and other growing economies. And we need to increase agriculture productivity. But how do we really make increase agriculture productivity with reducing impact on the environment and on soil degradation, etc.
So technology plays a vital role, I think, in addressing those challenges. So what is the role of sustainable agricultural technology in supporting food production? And can you also provide an example of this contribution and place in the value chain?
Yes. So I think that's a very important question. Agriculture is, without food systems, we would collapse. The world would not be able to continue to grow. And sustainable agriculture is a critical function. We need to create a reward system, a reward and recognition system for farmers, for agriculture food chains, to be more sustainable. There's enough technology out there to really reduce the methane emission or CO2 emission from agriculture. There is definitely enough available technology to reduce it dramatically. But are we supporting these technology? Are we rewarding farmers? Are we recognizing farmers whose value chains are weak? No, not enough. Governments are very happy to support EVs, solar energy, wind energy, and subsidize these. But I believe that we need to create a reward system for food systems. And that will drive the transformation because there's enough technology to reduce the water use, reduce fertilizer use, increase productivity in the food chain.
So I like how you emphasize on the importance of focusing on farmers, which brings me to the next question on focusing on the human element, but relating that to technology. How important are education and collaboration in accelerating technology adoption in the agricultural sector?
So one of the most important things is farmer resilience. At UPL, we are a global crop protection seeds company. We invest hundreds of millions of dollars a year on developing technology. Our focus in the last 10, 12 years has been what technologies will improve farmer resilience. How does he become more profitable? What are the challenges he's facing? So, farmers face any number of challenges, particularly drought, flood, disease, pest, price collapse, and all these are impacted within 5 years. And all of these above can happen once in 5 years. And so if you do not have a resilient farmer, then how can you expect him to adopt technology? So he needs a much more predictable income. He needs predictable technology. He needs to be able to predict cash flows. And once he has that, he will adopt technology. And so educating them, demonstrating them, we operate at the grassroots level. As a company, we operate at the farmer level. We talk to farmers around the world, everywhere in the world, whether it's a soybean value chain in Brazil or it's a small farmer in Africa or a potato farmer in India. We understand their challenges, that we are developing technology and training them to cope with that. But unless he is profitable, he's not going to be able to adopt new technologies.
That's amazing work that you do in UPL. I'd like to shift our talk to talk about policies and frameworks. What is the role of policymakers and regulation in providing the right framework and incentives for technology adoption in the agricultural industry?
So if you see some of the biggest opportunities and challenges, right? The challenge is fertilizer wastage. Farmers apply fertilizers and a lot of it gets wasted. So what are the technologies they can use to reduce the fertilizer waste? We believe a 30% reduction in fertilizer is possible using technology which we have, other people have. This fertilizer contaminates the groundwater. That's a big challenge. So there is things which we can do to avoid that, to reduce that. Water use, agriculture uses a lot of water. We can reduce that using technology. There is a well-known drip irrigation. There is other technologies that we have developed. So technology for large farms to reduce water use. The other very big opportunities is carbon, right? Soil can be a huge carbon sink. And today, if we have regenerative agricultural practices, if you reward farmers, if the government creates a policy where farmers get incentive to improve soil carbon, soil carbon can be one of the biggest sinks of carbon, and farmers can enable that. But we need to reward them. We need to say, oh my God, you did a great job. Here's additional benefits for you. And, all that science is well recognized now. Soil bacteria, soil bio, as there's more and more research happening. This helps productivity and also helps to sink carbon in soil. And I believe that the regulators, the governments are also are coming to this realization that we need to encourage them. It's not only about subsidizing electric cars. It's about taking this whole community, the agriculture community, because the only natural way to remove carbon from the atmosphere is agriculture, is plants, because they need carbon. They suck carbon out of the atmosphere to grow. And if we can put that back permanently in the soil, then that's a huge thing. And regenerative practice of agriculture can increase the storage of carbon in soil.
All right, thank you so much for your valuable insights. Before we wrap up, I'd like to take a moment to reflect on the forum that we're in itself. So what are your thoughts about the GPCA Forum, and what are the main takeaways that you can take home with you?
This is my first time at the GPCA. I'm from the agriculture industry, of course, and we are a large chemical company. But I was very impressed with the participation. I met a lot of very interesting people. We had a great panel discussion, and lots of friends I met I didn't know would be here. So very enlightening, a lot of educational discussion, very specific. It was not a general conference, very specific to petrochemicals and fertilizer, etc. So very interesting, and hoping to come back next year.
We're hoping to see you next year as well. And thank you so much for joining us for this episode. And thank you for sharing your valuable insights and your vision for our sustainable agricultural future. And to our audience, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time.